myself Vaibhav. As the session has begun, we are seeing some slide in the equity segment and Nasdaq to be particular. And I think we are likely to see this momentum continuing on the bearish side for next couple of days. If we consider the US Treasury yields, they have gone up and now trading at the 14 months highs of around the levels of 1.77 for 10-year treasuries. And this is happening because the economic momentum has picked up. Even the data which we are going to look into in today's session is showing marked improvement, and that is happening across the world. We are seeing improvement in major economies where the vaccination has picked up, and that has brought back the fears of inflation rising again. And as a result of that, the policy tightening can be expected. But that is kind of at least couple of years away. But still, market is seeing nervousness on that count, and as a result of that, the equities are slowly on retreat. So we will see what are the technical implications of these moves and some of the key levels which are going to hold the key for next couple of days. So if we consider the trading context for the day, earlier in the day we got consumer confidence data for the euro area, and here we are seeing improvement for the month of March, and now it is going up. It is still in the negative territory. That means it is people are hesitant, but the thing is that they are less hesitant than the prior month. So that's the improvement there. And if you consider the economic sentiment, which was also released at the same time, it is also showing improvement, and it has gone above 100, and it is happening after many months. And if you consider the industrial sentiments, these are also showing marked improvement. Now it is in the positive territory. And after that, we also got the inflation data for Germany, and here the German inflation data has beaten the expectations, and it has risen sharply to 1.7% from 1.3% in the prior month, and it is not really far away from the 2% level, which is the price band, the band of inflation which the Central Bank of Europe, the ECB, targets. So we will have to watch out on that front. And Germany is a major economy, so if the price pressure becomes apparent there, it is likely to pick up in other economies of the euro area as well. Now moving on to the US session, we had plenty of data points for the US, and earlier in the day we got housing data, and here the marked rise in housing sector prices is showing that people are quite optimistic, and they are going all out for buying the houses. And as a result of that, there is a rise of almost 12% in terms of year on year. This is a bit dated. The data was for the month of January, but still you can see that if this is the thing, this is the development for the month of January. When we will get the data 2 months after 2 months for the month of March, you can expect it to be even higher. And after that, we also got the consumer confidence data for the month of March, and it has risen sharply. Now it is at 109.7 compared to the 90.4 reading which we had in the month of February. So it has gone up almost 20% compared to the prior month, and that's the kind of thing which is having the treasury yields, uh, which is resulting in the rise of treasury yields as more and more people are feeling confident enough to go out and spend, and as a result of that, we might see some price pressures in the US economy. Now we will shift our attention to the technical segment. First, we will cover the Nasdaq, and then we will also consider what's happening in the light crude oil. Let's start with the Nasdaq's technical outlook. This is the daily time frame chart, and here Nasdaq has spent a considerable amount of time consolidating in this narrow range. So I think a breakout on either side is going to be a key development in near term, and we will see sharp move happening in that direction. In yesterday's session only, I was talking about the possibility of Nasdaq keeping its gain and trying to move higher, and that did happen in yesterday's session. But after the start of European session in today, we saw again downward pressure in the Nasdaq, and even the other key equity indices for the US, the Dow Jones and S&P 500, they are also slightly lower, but downward move is more apparent in the Nasdaq, and I think that has been the case for quite a while now. Earlier in the pandemic, the tech segment was pretty hot, and we were seeing that compared to other equity indices, Nasdaq registered robust rise. And now, as the treasury yields have started to go up, we are seeing the pressure on the downward side is quite high compared to the other key equity indices. And I think if we consider the lower time frame chart, the price area of around 13,000 is going to be crucial. And even in yesterday's session, I had talked about the need to keep an eye on 13,000. And in yesterday's session, we didn't really get a breakout on the higher side. So eventually, after getting closer to the resistance zone, the Nasdaq again felt the selling momentum picking up, and that brought it back towards 12,800. For the time being, it has been able to hold above the 12,800 mark, but it will be interesting to see how things unfold in today's session. And if we consider the central pivot point, it is going to act as the major resistance, and it has done precisely that over the month. So we have seen the Nasdaq trying to break above it couple of times, but failing all along. And this time around, even it is not getting closer to that level and feeling the heat just a little below the 13,000 mark. The regression curve had sloped on the upside, but I think now as the price has moved in the lower band, we might see more flattening of it. And in near term, we will have to watch out for this confluence area of 50, 100, and 200 SMA in the price band of 12,900 to 13,000. So I think in today's session, if we have the Nasdaq trading below this 200 SMA zone, we can continue to look for shorting opportunities while keeping the stop loss anywhere closer to or little above the 13,000 mark. So unless and until we have a clear cut breakout on the higher side, I am not expecting Nasdaq to change its course, and it is more likely to remain in the bearish stance, and we might see it dipping towards the prior swing low, which is there around 12,600 or just little above that. So that possibility is there, and looking at the price momentum so far in today's session, I think we can look for shorting opportunities anywhere below these 200 SMA, which is there around 12,940. And as I said, stop loss will have to be kept just little above these prior swing high. So we will have to take a risk of around 100 points. And for that much risk, I think the reward is quite favorable. We can expect the prior swing low to be retested again, and in that scenario we will be getting the reward of almost closer to 300 points. So the risk reward ratio is quite favorable here, and it is a lot better than even 1 is to 2. So I think this trade can be taken. Now moving on to the commodity segment, where the interest is today in the light crude oil. We have seen the light crude oil prices consolidating above these US dollar 57 per barrel mark, and in today's session we are seeing some slight buying happening after it got closer to the US dollar 60 per barrel mark, and this has been the case for today as well as yesterday. And I think in near term the price area around this US dollar 60 mark is going to be crucial, and we can expect some minor support there. So I think in today's session we can out for this price area, and as long as it holds well, I think by the time we come back for trading tomorrow, we are likely to see a nice base formation on the lower side, and if the momentum picks up from there, we can eventually see the light crude oil prices rising back towards the US dollar 65 or even beyond that. So from that perspective, we can look for a change of trend in light crude oil prices after this drop and consolidation closer to the central pivot point of this month's pivot point series. Here, the light crude oil has spent almost closer to 2 weeks, and in this week, we have seen the central pivot point providing it crucial support. Here, we had these dips, but now this formation increasingly looks like inverted head and shoulder, where we saw this price level of US dollar 57 per barrel as its immediate swing low formation, and after that it has been able to hold well and form the swing higher lows, and that has acted as a confidence booster. And in today's session you can see the buying picking up after it got closer to the US dollar 60 per barrel mark, and it is showing the promising signs, and I think we can expect it to consolidate, and if it does, then that will be a favorable outcome for us, and then we can even jump in and look for the fresh opportunities to profit from its possible rise in next couple of sessions. So here there's a confluence area of 50, 100 and 200 SMA, which is there around US dollar 60.5 per barrel mark, can be considered crucial, while keeping the stop loss just little below this immediate swing low, which is there around US dollar 59.5 per barrel. And for a risk of around 1 USD per barrel, we will be expecting almost more than 3 USD per barrel price rise in the light crude oil prices, as this might be the start of the fresh upward momentum, and in that case it will be the point of getting involved in the initial days of this trend change, and so we will have the higher probability of getting the good risk reward ratio. And as I said, eventually we can even expect the price levels of around US dollar 65 per barrel, and if that is going to happen, I think this is the best time to get involved, and for that we will have to keep an eye on this chart, and if we see some more consolidation while holding the price area of this immediate swing low, then we will have a formation which will be having a higher probability, and in that case the possibility of making money will be a lot higher. So that's my take looking at the light crude oils price action, and if you have any query or any idea to share, you can write to me in the feedback section, and I would be more than happy to take the discussion forward. Before I sign off, I would also like to remind of the risk associated with trading the financial instrument, and one should be careful while using the information provided. A fabulous day ahead. See you next time. Till then, goodbye. And of course, do subscribe to the Lucas Webinar channel to stay updated on the market development. Thank you all.